Question number 10, Iain Lees-Galloway.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Minister of Finance. Does he stand by his statement in relation to the labour market that, quote, if wages aren't rising, then there isn't a shortage, end quote?
The Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker, yes, in the context of which a fairly particular question was asked about the construction industry, where I'd point out employment increased by over 6% to 125,000 in the last year, and average weekly earnings in construction increased by nearly 6% compared to inflation of just 0.4. I think the questioner put to me the assertion that there'd been no wage inflation in the construction sector. That was incorrect. There actually has been 6% increase in average weekly earnings in the construction sector.
Supplementary question.
Supplementary question, Iain Lees-Galloway.
Could the reason there was nil real wage growth in the last quarter be that the government has issued so many work visas that the labour market is flooded, just as MB warned when it wrote, filling labour shortages through migration can result in wage suppression?
The Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker, I think if the member looks at the advice, he will find that a number of agencies made statements about what they thought could be the case. The piece of work that was actually done in 2013 by MB showed that that effect was not occurring. I understand that piece of work is now currently being updated so that we can refresh a view of what's actually happening in the market rather than relying on assertions by officials.
Question.
Supplementary question, Iain Lees-Galloway.
Why did the Immigration Minister claim there's a shortage of workers in Te Anau and Queenstown when average earnings are falling in those regions, which he says indicates there's plenty of workers already available? Could it be that issuing 209,000 work visas has suppressed wages?
The Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr Speaker, there's many questions rolled into that one, but I must say in Queenstown, if the member goes there, he will find that it is growing very fast. There's a question of whether enough people can turn up for the jobs there, but it's also pretty evident that a significant majority of the workforce there are non-New Zealanders, and New Zealanders don't appear to be travelling to Queenstown to take those jobs up in great numbers.
Point of order. Point
of order, Iain Lees-Galloway.
I seek leave to table a data set from the New Zealand Household Economic Survey which indicates that earnings in the Otago and Southland regions have fallen by 3% in the last year.
That information is available on the website of Stats New Zealand.
Supplementary question.
Supplementary question, Iain Lees-Galloway.
Does the fact that average wages for sales workers fell by 6.7% in 2015 indicate that there is no shortage of sales workers? If so, why did the government issue 2,700 work visas for sales workers when there are 23,000 people in New Zealand looking for sales work?
The Honourable Bill English.
Well,
there's
Mr.
at least
Speaker,
two questions there.
I wouldn't rely on the members, the member trying to use his own numbers to create some kind of cause and effect. The fact is, many of the visa category, a number of the visa categories are labour market tested, and I think, as the minister's pointed out, in recent years, the immigration officials have dropped something like 50 occupations off the list and only put about 3 or 4 on the list. But the member should also remember all of this is happening against the background of one of the faster growing developed economies, where there is a high rate of job creation, where incomes are rising, and where there are good prospects for people looking for work.
Supplementary question.
Supplementary question, Iain Lees-Galloway.
Is MB wrong? Is Treasury wrong? Is the Reserve Bank wrong? Is the BNZ wrong? Is the Auckland Chamber of Commerce wrong? And is he right when he says that immigration is more...
I'm inviting the member to ask one supplementary question. I'll give him a chance to rephrase it, but in that time I think he's asked 5 and was still going strongly.
Is everyone else wrong And is he right when he says immigration is more permissive because New Zealanders are pretty damned hopeless?
The Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr Speaker, I didn't say that, but I could give the Minister this advice. Winston Peters is much better at this stuff.
Order. Question number